This has been a long time coming. Weeks upon weeks of waiting, and we're finally here. The best James Bond film of all time, in my opinion anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you on Her Majesty's Secret Service. The film begins with James Bond rescuing Contessa Teresa de Vincenzo from committing suicide via drowning. After that, Bond is captured by Mark-Ange Draco, head of the Union Corps crime syndicate and also Teresa's father. Draco reveals to Bond a means to find Ernst Stavro Blofeld, but only if Bond continues to romance Tracy, as she's known to her friends. Bond tracks Blofeld to Switzerland, where he is secretly developing a means to destroy the world's agricultural systems. While Bond does manage to keep undercover for a while, he is eventually discovered. During his escape from Blofeld's men, he is reunited with Tracy. Eventually, the couple finally ditch Blofeld's henchmen, and Bond declares his love for Tracy and proposes marriage. Their happiness is short-lived when Blofeld abducts Tracy. With MI6 deeming a rescue mission too risky, Bond travels with Draco and his men to Blofeld's compound to rescue Tracy and destroy the facility. Sometime later, Bond and Tracy are married and drive off to live happily ever after. Or so it would seem. Because the movie is so scenic and grand and epic and all those other great words that I had to have the Blu-ray, and I was not disappointed. Diana Rigg is possibly the most underrated Bond girl ever. Her relationship with Bond is the only time I ever give a damn about Bond and the girl being together at the end of the film. All the other films are like episodes of the original Star Trek. What I mean by that is that Captain Kirk falls in love with a woman, but, you know, they'll find a way to get rid of her by the end of the episode. You know that Bond and the girl won't be together in the next film, but who cares? Well, I care in this film. I can't be the only one who gets a little misty-eyed by the end of the film, can I? It's a damn shame that John Barry never got nominated for any of his James Bond scores, for an Oscar anyway. I think this is the film that should have been nominated, if any of them were. This is the one. Finally, I love the finale of the film. It's probably the most action-packed finale in the entire series. I get a real kick out of a machine gun-toting James Bond sliding around on the ice. No, not even this film is without flaws. I think Bond spends way too much time pretending to be Sir Hilary Bray. Like, seriously, 10 to 15 minutes too long. Oh, and I absolutely hate when the credits begin to roll at the end of the film. They have this tear-jerker of an ending, and then they piss all over it by blasting us with the James Bond theme. Always ruins the end for me. Before I get to the reflection, I have to mention the man who played James Bond in this film, George Lazenby. Most people would say he's terrible and the worst actor to play the role, and, well, they're right, to an extent. Let's face facts, George Lazenby got a raw deal. They hired a guy with absolutely no acting experience to replace the most popular actor in the world to play the most popular film character of the time. Of course, this wasn't going to go over well with the public. To put the blame squarely on Lazenby is not right. The filmmakers should have known this was going to be a disaster, and because of that, we got Sean Connery back for the next film. Normally, that wouldn't be a bad thing, but his massive paycheck hindered the budget for an already disappointing film that is Diamonds Are Forever. We could have gotten a gritty revenge flick a la Death Wish, but instead we got a film that's twice as campy as like half of Roger Moore's Run and the Adam West Batman show combined. There, I said it! While I do love Sean Connery as James Bond, I think he's the best. I really do. I really mean that. I do think he's the best James Bond. I do not think his Bond belongs in this film. In the previous film, his love interest is killed, and he can do nothing about it. How does he respond? Next day, he's back to his usual witty self, like nothing happened, cracking jokes. If Sean Connery were in this film, it would be completely different, but not necessarily better. I know a lot of people out there will disagree. Most people will disagree with me, but this is my opinion, not fact. This film is a film that calls for a hero who's not an indestructible Superman, but can be hurt, and makes us care about whether or not he makes it to the end of the film. Honor Majesty's Secret Service is in a league all its own. It blends with the films that came before it, but is able to stand upon its own merits. I think I've said all that can be said. 5 out of 5 stars. And with that, we come to the end of this countdown. I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking this journey with me. This may be the end of the countdown, but not the end of my coverage of James Bond. I have 2 loose ends to tie up starting next week. Tune in this Friday for a teaser of what's next here at CV Reviews. It's not very revealing, but if you're familiar with what's coming next, then you'll know what it is. And of course, tune in next Monday for my review of a film I never thought I'd actually do. Bye.
Never, never say never again. Never, never say never again.
Is anything the matter, Sir Hilary?
Just a slight stiffness coming on.